we discuss the disadvantages of the U.S. troops leaving the Middle East. Number one, the removal of U.S. troops from the Middle East will lead to another superpower, such as Russia or North Korea taking our place as a dedicated protector against rebel forces, and with a more dominant mindset driven towards occupying the Middle Eastern lands in the name of communism. Also, although the military has been responsible for some Middle Eastern civilian casualties, the civilians living there would otherwise be in danger from the totalitarian rule of terrorist groups like ISIS. And also, retreating will cripple the spread of democracy, and democracy makes the world a better place. And also, we have connections to petroleum oil from our friends in the Middle Eastern governments, and that is also important for our nation's pride. Okay, so my first point is, first a little background. So Forbes says that in 2015, actually, I'm sorry, 2017, rather 2018, of the 18,814 deaths caused by terrorists around the world last year, well over half were due to the actions of just four groups of Islamic State, Taliban, Al-Shabaab, and Boko Haram. And according to Global Terrorism Index 2018, compiled by the Institute for Economics and Peace, these four organizations were responsible for 10,632 deaths in 2017, and their actions continue to the instability of what are some of the most dangerous countries in the world, including Afghanistan, Iran, Nigeria, Somalia, and Syria. And over the past decade, they have accounted for 44% of all terrorist deaths. So, a recent study by the Atlantic Council that took place in 2018 said that 2017 Russian civilians want to leave due to oppression, and so the same ideologies are most likely going to be instilled into the Middle Eastern countries through their government via Russian influence, and which will lead to more totalitarian oppression for the citizens in these countries that Russia wants to influence. Also, the report is based on a survey of 400 Russian immigrants living in San Francisco, New York, London, and Berlin. And the Atlantic Council survey was conducted from November 2017 to March 2018. And all those surveyed left Russia after the year 2000. And the report also includes information gathered from extensive focus groups with surveyed participants. Between 1.6 million and 2 million Russians have left Russia since Vladimir Putin became president in 2000. While certain qualities make this group, we found that there's a significant shift in attitudes based on whether the immigrants left before or after 2012. And when Putin reassumed the presidency after serving as prime minister from 2018 to 2012, when asked for the primary reasons for leaving, many respondents in both groups mentioned economic opportunity, but post-2012 saw a huge increase in those who left due to political climate and lack of rights and freedoms. So, okay, so Russia already has political social influence in the Middle East. Report by the Atlantic says 3 decades after the Soviet Union collapsed and the United States emerged as an undisputed superpower in the Middle East and North Africa, a resurgent Russia is back under the personal direction of Putin, which is stepping in to fill the vacuum left by the disengagement, the Obama administration, and the unpredictability of the Trump challenge to the United States' dominant role in the region. Russian oilmen, arms dealers, and financiers have been fanning out across the region, striking billions of dollars worth of deals, reviving old relationships, and forging new ones from Libya to Portugal. And at the center of it all is Vladimir Putin, whose strongman image resonates with the region's authoritarian rulers at the time, when doubts are growing about Washington's move to the Middle East. Now, so, on October 13th of 2015, Putin criticized the leaders of the American-led intervention in Syria for sending arms to the area that could end up in the wrong hands. He also criticized the American decision not to share with Russia information regarding potential ISIL targets, adding that the American side does not seem to have a clear understanding of what really happens in the country and what goals they are seeking to achieve. So basically, it has been made evident that the Middle East is somewhat resentful of our American military because like Russia has closer ties to many countries in the Middle East, including Syria and Iran. So ideologically, Russia also fits in well with the Middle East. Putin, an autocrat himself, is comfortable with dictators and resents what he perceives as U.S. supremacy promotion. Position that dictators in the Middle East also share, as Stephen Cook from The Atlantic notes that they say now it's payback time for almost 3 decades of Moscow's humiliation, and what better place to start in the Middle East where the United States is already widely resented, even amongst its allies. So, evidence that the Middle East is having issues protecting themselves without the help of U.S. military presence. One point would be the Gulf War, where Kuwait was being invaded by neighboring Iraqi forces, and there were thousands of Iraqi forces were killed, but so then since the beginning of the fight in ISIS 2014, the coalition, which is a group of forces that are underneath the United Nations, and they have come together and against fight ISIS in Syria, and the coalition has liberated more than 20,000 square miles of previously held ISIS territory in Syria, and more than 3 million innocent civilians have been liberated from ISIS by their cruelty and fear. Thank you.